I have written a book called I Do It in My Pajamas, and for those of you who don't know, it's just my story of the first 3 years of business and all the things that I faced and overcame, and it's very conversationally written, but I do believe it can be very encouraging to you if you're in business and you think you're alone going through struggles, but actually we all face similar things. And so I'm not going to go on about it too much, but it is available. I guarantee there's something in here for everyone. There's something that's just going to help you along in your business journey. What I'd really like to cover today is what will be day 14 of the Ultimate Business course, which Jade mentioned earlier. And it's about connecting effectively, and I want to cram the whole day into this half an hour that I have, or now 25 minutes. So if I do end up going a bit too fast and you wanted me to repeat something, please don't hesitate to interrupt. I'm happy to pause or repeat whatever, and I'll get as much in as possible, because what I'd like to do is have content that's relevant to those of you who are small businesses or startup, all the way through to the likes of Lucy, who's in the corporate world. And so I don't want anybody to feel like they've missed out. So I'm going to kind of whiz through a whole lot of stuff and hope that there's a little bit in there for everyone. So the first thing I wanted to talk through was getting all that you can from this network, from the Women's Business Club. Now the principles apply no matter what networking event you go to, but the ones I want to speak about are very specific to our culture. So we're going to start from that point to ensure that everybody learns how to get the most that they can from their Women's Business Club membership. And from there I'm going to move on to how to build a strategic network. I'm going to look at strategic partnerships, contra agreements and things like that. So we can really then look at expanding our network skills, and hopefully every single person here will leave with something practical that they can take away and apply straight away. If not, come speak to me afterwards, because then I've failed you miserably. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to be effective in a networking group like this one. You do get networking events that aim for numbers. They want 300-400 people at their events. And the way you work around there is very different. And that also very much depends on your personality or temperament style. I can go to a networking room full of 400 people and probably only make one quality connection, because I'm an introvert and I just can't work a room in the way that an extrovert can, go around grabbing business cards and that. I prefer to, in my temperament, actually talk to the person and get to know them better. So for me, a large event or a small event has the same value, because I can't really mass connect on that scale. Other people, it may work. And I set up Women's Business Club very much around the type of club that I want to attend, and I can because it's mine. So I really wanted an event that I could go to where I was comfortable and where I could dress the way I wanted and speak the way I wanted, and just really get rid of all of the things that I hated about other networking events. Okay, so this is the model that we've built. So the first thing I would say that is essential for any networking is to be yourself. Like I said, I built a network where I could be myself, and to be honest, I now know I can be myself anywhere else. But I think I first needed this platform to feel confident being myself in a business setting. Many of us, we go into business, we may be moms, or we may work from home, or whatever the case may be, and then when we go to an event like this, we feel like a fraud. We feel like, oh, if they knew that I worked from my pajamas on Monday, they wouldn't take me seriously. Or if they knew that I was like feeding my baby while I was typing in an email, they wouldn't take me seriously. Whatever the case may be. And so the first thing I'd really like to encourage you to do is, you know what, we're all in the same boat. Life is different for all of us. Some have children, some don't. Some are new, some are in the corporate world, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we're just women who are trying to do our best and are passionate about our businesses. And so when we come to a networking event, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. It really doesn't matter. Okay? If you are insecure, or if you are not confident, or if you go to an event and you're worried about what people think, that's your problem. You've made it your problem, not their problem. The best thing to do is to just go to an event. You know, this is who I am. Probably you're going to find somebody in the room won't like you and somebody will. And you're going to get that wherever you go. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And once we let go of that, once we go to a place confident in who we are, we speak the way we usually speak. We don't try and speak as somebody that we're not. We don't dress in a way that we're not feeling comfortable. It's very important. Your clothes I believe your clothes really do help you with confidence. So dress in a way that makes you feel most like yourself. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It really doesn't. And so go into a networking event being fully authentic. And the thing about that is that when somebody encounters somebody who's trying to be who they think they should be, there's this wall that goes up. And the person that you're speaking to gets the impression that something's not quite right. But they don't know what it is. So there's an instant barrier, a mistrust, because they don't know what it is about you that's not quite right, but they know something's not quite right. And so that makes it really hard for you to network. If you go to a networking event, and you yourself, there's no barrier. People feel much safer. They feel more invited to connect with you. And it's very simply the difference between being yourself and trying to be who you think you should be. And it's very powerful. The other thing I found was, when I went to networking events trying to be who I thought I should be, I was exhausted. It was hard work. It's really hard work to try and be someone you're not. And when I started to go into events, just being myself, I actually had a load of fun. I actually felt that, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is who I am. I'm trying to be the best person I can. And it was amazing. It was like a weight lifted. The other thing in business is to be visible. So, especially if you're a home worker or if you have a job that keeps you at your desk a lot, just going out to networking events and just being there, just being visible on its own will make you memorable. It will make you stand out, as opposed to just the person that you're always receiving emails from, or just the person that's always tweeting you. Just get out and be visible. And sometimes it's really hard if you, especially, like sometimes I can get really bogged down with admin and I can spend weeks at my computer and not get out. And after getting out, I realized just going out and putting a face to the person who's behind the email, it makes a massive impact. And so try and keep a balance in your work with doing the things that you have to do and getting out and just being visible. If that's your only motivation for coming today, I'm coming to the Women's Business Club just so I can put my face out there and be visible. That's enough. That's already enough. And of course, be yourself. Be interested is another tip I would give you for networking. Not interesting, yes, be interesting, but interested. How many times have you gone to an event where a person comes up to you and all they've spoken about is themselves? What they do, how much it costs, and by the end of it, you've had a full sales pitch, and they don't know the first thing about you. I would say be the person that goes to a networking event with the express aim of being interested. So what do you do? And don't even worry about if they bring up what you do or not, because they will remember you as that person who was not the salesy, not the pushy person, not the person that was just all about themselves. And the time will come where that will be the difference between the pushy salespeople and you getting the business. And so what I enjoy now, enjoy networking, because I go from that angle of, you know what, I'm just here, I'm going to have a drink, I'm going to have some fun and learn about the people. And if there's business opportunities, great, and if there's not, it doesn't matter. I've made a connection and it will turn into something. I've learned that, yes, we need to be smart in taking opportunities. We also don't want to just go networking and make it our social life, and that's all there is to it. It's great fun, but there has to also come a point where you're like, okay, that person really can benefit from my business. Now is the time to speak. So if I go to Marie and I'm having some health problems and I'm talking about my health problems and she doesn't mention that she has a solution, that would be a massive waste, wouldn't it? And she could say to me, oh, actually, I've got exactly the thing that can help you get rid of your sun damage on your face, or whatever the case may be. Can you do that? Get rid of sun damage? So do you understand that it really is, yes, be interested, but then, of course, the best thing we can do as business owners is always be looking to match their pain with our solutions. If we have a solution, then by all means go and mention it. So it's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and I'm not talking about my business, it's too selfish, I don't want to do that. When there's an opportunity, of course, present your solution. And then just be a part of a community. Like I said in the beginning, Women's Business Club is very much a community. It's not come here, get business, leave. It's like, maybe it's a bit harsh, but it's almost like raping the event. It's like you're just taking what you want and leaving. Be a part of it. Be in relationship. And when the time's right, you'll start to get a steady flow of business as a result, and people will like you. Do you know what I mean? Because you haven't been that pushy person that's always like, have you bought my thing? Have you bought my, And so really just settle down into who you are, settle down into the business community, and just engage and be a part of it, and business will come, but also you'll enjoy the journey more because you haven't put that much pressure on yourself to leave with business every single time. Now, one of the things that we do at the Women's Business Club, which I believe is unique to the Women's Business Club, is we have the AA. And I like saying it just for the AA. But anyway, it's if you flip over the page that I told you not to look at when you came, it's your annual assessment form. Now, this is something that I created so that you get the most that you can from your visits to the Women's Business Club. Every single year, we run the same themes, and people say, why? Isn't it going to get boring? Absolutely not. We've tried to find the 12 top areas that most businesses will always need encouragement in. It's downloadable on the members page on the website, but I don't think many people use it. I really don't. There's more to it than this. This is just one of the pages. There's another page on there that help you set your annual goals, etc., etc. So if you want the full document, go onto members.womensbusiness.club and download the full form. But I quickly want to run through this form with you today so that you understand how you can get even more from coming to the Women's Business Club. So as I said, every month we have a theme. I'll quickly run through a few of them. So for example, January is Vision Month. We look at your vision for the year. We help you set targets, etc., etc. We do vision boards. It's all good. February is Love Your Business. So it's looking about your passion and why you started your business and how you can keep the passion alive. And March is Hats. It's about all the various roles that as women we juggle. We're mothers, we're wives, we're friends, we're daughters, we're whatever the case may be. And we're businesswomen. And we have to do the accounting. And we have to do the cooking. You know how it is. So March is very much about how we find the balance in all the hats that we have to wear and enjoy the journey. And so that's kind of how the themes are set up. Some are very businessy themes, some are very personal, but you can't separate the two. If we're in the business, it is personal. And so those are the themes. It's a quick overview. You can hop on the website and have a look at them in more detail. Now, what I encourage people to do is, for every month, bring your annual assessment. Should I turn the aircon on? Is it not just me that's sweltering? You're fine. Okay. If anybody wants to just press the on button over there. Every single year, you'll get a different speaker, but the same theme. Each speaker will bring a different angle, a different area of expertise, or a different story, and every year your business will be at a different place, and you will be a different person. Hopefully, you are growing and improving, and so is your business. So every time you come back to January, there's going to be something else that you can benefit from. There's going to be something that's going to be new for you at that time. It wasn't new last year, but now it's relevant. And so what you can do is, I have grown in or learned. That's your progress review. So you fill that in on your annual assessment. For that month, for that theme, that's what you've gained. And then, for the future target, I want to grow or learn in it. And you could always bring this back next year and the year after. And so use this so that you're getting much more out of your visits to the Women's Business Club. It can be a really powerful thing if you are strategic and specific about your business journey. So what I'd like to move on to is your team. Great leaders are not defined by the absence of weakness, but the presence of clear strengths. And so what we want to look at next is, who are you? What are your strengths? What are you good at? What do you love? When you sit down to work, what do you leave always at the bottom of the list and never get onto? And what you can't wait to do? Chaney's smiling because she knows I know hers. What do you just absolutely love to do and spend all of your time doing, and probably would do it for free? Those are your strengths. And there are fantastic tools out there. There's Gallup's Strength Finder. I highly recommend that. It has a free online tool. And there's various things that you can do to discover your strengths, your personality type, there's wealth dynamics, talent dynamics, there's Myers-Briggs. There's so many things out there that you can use to discover your strengths, the things that you're good at, the things that you will naturally excel at. And then there are those other things which you leave till the bottom of the list. They never get done, and you absolutely loathe when you have to do it, and when you do it, you feel like completely drained at the end of it. What I want to propose today is that you build your business with a team in mind, where you get to do the things you love, and everything else is delegated to your team. Now, that will be different for every one of you, because for Lucy, she probably can access a team because they have a several branches and staff, and if she discovers something, she might be able to access the necessary person and delegate. For somebody else like Jason and Mel, you might find there's just the two of you, and so you're going to outsource to. It's going to look very different. But what I want to suggest today is that every single one of us can have a team. There's a clever way of doing it. Whether you're in a corporate setting or whether it's just you or whether it's you and your husband, you can build a team around you where you can outsource the things you hate doing, the things that you're not very good at, and you can focus on the things that you excel at. So is that exciting? Does that kind of feel like, wow, I'd love to have that? So we're going to look at a few ways that we can do that today. So first of all, something I'm very passionate about is temperament. I love the concept of understanding who I am, understanding who they are, whoever they may be, and how we connect and how we work together and how we annoy each other, etc., etc. And so I spent years and years and years studying everything that is out there to do with temperaments just for the sheer pleasure of it, because I find it fascinating. And also, it definitely helps in business if you have a good understanding of people. The one thing that I believe for myself, and probably for all of us, is that you can never get too good at your people skills. And so I'm constantly reading and developing and trying to grow my people skills. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, sadly, but then I think, okay, I don't want to be like that anymore. I'm going to keep trying to get better at my people skills. And one of the best ways to do it is to understand your temperaments. We all fit into predominantly one box, maybe two, probably two boxes out of the 4 temperaments. And there are, like I said, a gazillion models out there. But the very basic one that I really like is the one by Hippocrates. I think it's just called the 4 temperament theory, I'm not sure. But anyway, so it started with him, and every other model is based on that original. I think it was 460 BC, that's how old it is. So every other model is a kind of based on that and kind of expanded and used. So you've got your sanguine, your melancholic, your phlegmatic, and your choleric. So that kind of gives you an overview. The sanguine, so these quadrants will be unemotional, extrovert, emotional, extrovert, unemotional, introvert, emotional, introvert. That makes sense. Okay? In your team, ideally, you'd like all 4 temperaments. You're probably very strongly one. In fact, I'm very strongly one in my personal life, and I'm very strongly another when I'm in work mode. Does that mean I'm not authentic? Does that mean that I'm being someone I'm not? I don't know how it works, but I flip. Okay, when I'm at home, working in my pajamas, being melancholic, doing the admin, I'm in the space where I'm most me and most comfortable. But yet when I go out and come to a setting like this, I can't be that person. I can't be the depressed, deep. I just can't. I have to be out there and I have to be like, this is the job, this is how we get it done. And so you can be a combination of things, and you could even be like me and flip. Now, if I come to an event like this and I'm very melancholic, you're not going to want to know me, because that's the other side of me that I keep for home. Rainy days. This is the side of me that's the writer. This is when I write books. I've written loads of books, and I love to express myself through writing. I couldn't write in that. So, I don't know if sharing my side of things is helpful to you, but you'll fit into there. So you'll either be, at times, an unemotional extrovert, where you're task-oriented. You're like, this is the task at hand. This is how I need to get it done. It's not an emotional thing. It's fact, fact, fact. Let's do it. Now, this person can be very hurtful or annoying to this person, for example. Okay, they can be very sensitive to that style of leadership or work. And so my daughter is a phlegmatic, and I've really learned how, because she's also one of my team members, she's our creative director, and I really had to learn how to work with her in a way that here's the tasks, but go away and be creative and do it at your pace, and I only want results by Tuesday, but not micromanaging her, because I would absolutely kill her because she couldn't cope with that level of management. And so ideally, what you want in your business is to build yourself a team where you've got all of those. I get very annoyed. When I'm in that mode, I get very annoyed with phlegmatics. My husband's one. I'm like, can you not work any faster? Can we get this done? I want 10 leads by, yesterday. I'm not really like that, but that's kind of the way that I would feel. And then he would be like doing something else, and I'm just like, what what are you doing? We've got to get this out by 2 o'clock. And so that's kind of the relationship between those two. However, I don't edit my books. I don't proofread them. I write it and it's done. I'll never read it again. And imagine if I put my books out like that. It'd be a mess. He's the person that will go through them with a fine-tooth comb, move all my apostrophes outside of the S because I'm always putting them in the wrong place, etc., etc. Sanguine. Now, I need sanguines in my team. I need bubbly extroverts who are spirited, who can go out there and talk about how amazing the club is. Because I can do that for a limited time and then I get really drained and I have to go away and be by myself. But in order for me to have an effective team at the Women's Business Club, I need to make sure I have sanguines. I need to make sure I have people who are out there and they get energized, they get completely filled. The more networking they can do, the happier they'll be. And I know I need people like that on my team. And then the colleagues, very analytical, very systematic. They're going to be the ones who will do the spreadsheets, who will do the detail work. They will fine-tune things. They're very systematic. So that's just a little overview of the 4 temperament types. Now, in your team, we start with you. Which one do you think you are in your work setting? Now, like I said, you could be a combination, or you could even flip between some. Okay, sometimes I definitely want some phlegmatic in my temperament because phlegmatics are the peacemakers. They are peaceful. They're nice to be around. They're always making, where there's an argument between 2 people, they'll be the ones that will bring them together and see both sides of the story. So I've tried to learn from phlegmatics, but at the end of the day, I can't be all of them, and neither can you. But I think if you have never done any of the temperament tests, I would highly recommend it because it is empowering. Because I know who I need on my team. So what you need to do for your business next is to create a workflow diagram. So what that means is you sit down and you look at absolutely everything that you do in your business. Everything from opening your Outlook to check your emails to bookkeeping to whatever the case may be. You identify every single thing that you have to do in your business. You write it down. The second thing is you identify the process. What is the process behind what you do? So do you do paper invoicing and pop it in the post? You write that down as part of the process for your finance section. Or do you do email invoices direct from stage, etc., etc. Identify the variant flows. So that's kind of if this, then that. If this comes in, if a check comes in, then the process is to go deposit it at the bank. If a direct deposit comes in, the process is to mark it off on my bank statement or whatever the case may be. So can you see, if this, then that, you're defining your variant flows in the various things that you do. Identify the exceptions. So every now and then, there could be an exception. So you write them down. For example, we don't take cash, as an example. At Women's Business Club, we don't deal with cash. What happens if somebody comes to one of these events and puts £20 in my hands or £30 and says, oh, by the way, I forgot to book? I'm like, that would be an exception. And so there will be a process for that. And then obviously identify the flow order. So you want to know what you do, when you do it, and what order you do it. Once you've established this, now this could take you months. This could take you a long time to work out exactly what your business does. From there, you want to create some sort of workflow diagram. That's kind of the Women's Business Club one. So those are the things we do. And off of them will come the processes and the order. And then out of that, you want to then allocate tasks to team. So because I've completely run out of time, I can't go into it in detail, but I'll give you a quick example. So each of these will have a temperament that suits it best. So my finance could probably be a phlegmatic or a melancholic. I'm not going to give my finance, my bookkeeping in that necessarily to an extrovert because they'll get frustrated by being bound at desk all day. Just an example, okay? So I know that I can allocate temperaments to these tasks. Sales is likely to be an extrovert. Not saying an introvert can't be good at sales, but depending on the type of sales I want them to do, I'm likely to allocate an extrovert to that. And so you go around your business workflow diagram and you allocate people types, because what you don't want to do is put a square peg in a round hole. You want to get the best out of your team. Don't be frightened if you don't have a big company and you can't build a team. This is still relevant to even a startup, because if you start your business with your team in mind, with your whole workflow mapped out like this, you see this, even I'm in my introverted mode, can you tell? I can spend hours working on systems. What you want to do then is be on the lookout for people who could fit those roles. As I said, you can be in a corporate position where you can find the person within your company. You can be a small business and you can say, you know what, I know that my weakness is sales. I know that my business is never going to break through to the next barrier unless I get somebody in to help me with my sales. I don't have the budget to employ somebody. What do? There are ways. First of all, I wanted to delve into strategic partnerships. Fantastic thing where you can look at finding a business or a person that has complementary skills to you, has complementary temperaments to you. They have something that you need. Do you have something that you could offer? Why not approach them and say, you know what, I can see that if you do this for me and I do this for you, together our businesses can grow significantly more than if we try to achieve this on our own. If you can start thinking about my business needs a team, if you can just start at that point, you need a team around you because you can't be all things. You can't be all temperaments. And then you can start identifying whether that's a staff member you need to employ, an apprentice you need to get from Jade, whether it be outsourcing. So I outsourced to Steph. She handles some of my admin for me because I've always got too much on my plate, and she does a fantastic job and takes a weight off of my shoulders. Maybe you need her as well. She'll be happy to start with a few hours and work up to however many hours you need. And she does a great job. I can vouch for her. So she's on my team because I know that I don't have the budget or the capacity at the moment for a full-time staff member, but I do work with VAs. You can have contra agreements. And at the moment, we have a contra agreement template available for free on the Women's Business Club website. If you go to shop.womensbusiness.club, every week in the Facebook group, we give free downloads. It's only available for that week. And because I was doing this talk today, I thought I'd make that template available. So you can go to somebody else and you can say, we're doing it with Nettle actually. I have an arrangement with Nettle where I'm giving them something and they're giving us help with our Google AdWords. So we have a contra arrangement. I have something they want, they have something I want, and so we are working together for this limited period of time. That's fantastic because I would never have considered going directly to them and employing their services specifically for that right away, but now that I am working with them, they're probably going to run my business going forward. But we had that contra arrangement, which was mutually beneficial. So I'm going to end there. I hope that out of all of that, there was something that's going to help you build your business. But as I said, if every single one of you leave with the understanding that we all need a team around us, and there are various ways that we can connect effectively and build our team, thereby building our businesses so much faster than if we tried to do it all on our own.